It might be cold in Oklahoma these next few days, but the Oklahoma City Thunder snapped their cold streak, breaking their losing streak against the Portland Trail Blazers on Monday night as Josh Giddey records another double-double, and the Thunder win in their first game since SGA's injured ankle. All of this and more coming up on today's Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your teams every day.
You are Locked On Thunder, your daily Oklahoma City Thunder podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get it going on the Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your teams every day. I am your host, Rylan Stiles. You can follow me on Twitter at Rylan_Stiles. Follow the show on Twitter at LOThunderPod. Email the show, LOThunderPod@gmail.com. On today's show, we're going to dive into the Oklahoma City Thunder snapping their losing streak with a great comeback win over the Portland Trail Blazers as SGA is sidelined for the first of 10 games with this ankle injury. Josh Giddey gets his 11th double-double. Lou Dort chips in 18. Darius Baisley's elite off the bench, and Tre Mann shows up big as a starter. Let's get into this game. It's Thunder versus Trailblazers. SGA out until the All-Star break at least. He'll be reevaluated at the All-Star break, and we'll see kind of where he goes from there. Vit Krejci out with an ankle injury, and Isaiah Roby out with an ankle injury. All three guys have right ankle sprains. Vit has been out since prior to Christmas. SGA out since over the weekend, and Isaiah Roby is out now after his G League assignment. Pokusevski did not play in this game. J.R.E. did not play in this game, and Paul Watson Jr. did not play in this game because all three of those guys played earlier today with the Oklahoma City Blue on Monday afternoon. So that's why they did not get into the action. Damian Lillard was out, as well as Nazir Little and Larry Nance Jr., and Cody Zeller was out as well. The Thunder were 1-9 in their last 10 games entering this contest. They were 14-34 overall. Portland starts out with Anthony Simons, CJ McCollum, Norm Powell, Robert Covington, Yusuf Nurkic, and the Thunder start out with Josh Giddey, Tre Mann, Lou Dort, Wiggins, and Derek Favors. So how did the Thunder win this game? How did they snap their cold streak, especially considering the fact that they didn't have SGA, they didn't have their leader, and the sky was falling over the weekend whenever you find out that this all-star caliber player on this really bad team record-wise was going to miss significant time. They already didn't look good with SGA giving it his all, and we've talked endlessly over these last 2 weeks about how exhausted SGA looks just trying to fight and claw this team to a win and to snap that losing streak. How would they fare without that production, without that caliber of player? And in this game, they got down big early. And you have to give credit to the Thunder, the team, the coaching staff. Because when you lose the heart and soul of your team, when you lose your max contract player, when you lose your leader, whenever you lose your all-star caliber player, in the first game since that loss, the first game since that injury, you go down 18 points early on, and Portland dominates that first quarter, just absolutely dominates that first frame. This team could have easily packed it in. This team could have easily rolled over. This team could have easily just said, enough is enough. We'll try again next game. But instead, they fought back. This game was tied 6 times. One time, the lead changed hands as the Thunder once grew a 19-point lead. The Thunder out-rebounded Portland 50-41. They had 22 assists to Portland's 18. OKC had 2 less turnovers. The Thunder shot 40% from the floor, 29% from deep, and 94% at the line. Portland shot 42% from the floor, 18% from deep, and 75% at the line. Portland lost the points in the paint battle by 2. Oklahoma City and Portland each had 8 second chance points. The Thunder won the fast break category 8-4, which is a big indicator for me. And outside of that disastrous first quarter, which the Thunder lost 31-19, the Thunder outscored Portland each of the next 3 quarters. They really turned it around. Nurkic was awesome, 14 points, 9 rebounds. CJ McCollum had 21 points. Norm Powell had 17. But the best thing that happened on the defensive end for the Thunder, not only was Darius Bazley's effort off the bench, but was Lou Dort and company defending Anthony Simons, who has been on a massive hot streak, who has been incredible these last few weeks, really this last month, really this entire season. Anthony Simons has been awesome. And he was flustered, he was frustrated, and he got shut down today. Absolutely shut down as the Thunder win 98-81. This is a big win. And I know that tanking is what matters. I know that draft positions what matters. I know that the wins and losses are your least concern. Your biggest concern is, of course, who the Thunder pick in the draft in a few months, how the lottery shakes out. And to get that lottery to shake your way, the best chance of doing that is by turning these wins into losses. But again, given the circumstances, given the context, you're 1-9 your last 10 games. You're the 4th worst team in the league, arguably the 3rd worst team in the league, and you lost your top overall player. Given the context of all of that, then you get down 18 to start the game. It's a huge testament to the leaders on this team, like Muscala, like Kenny Hustle, even like the young player in Josh Giddey, who led the team on the floor tonight. It's also a testament to Mark. The team loves playing for him. The team wants to do well for him. They want to compete for him. And to me, it just reaffirms and continues to reaffirm that Mark's not a stopgap. Look, I called him elite last week. I stand by that he's elite. He's not a stopgap coach. This is not somebody who is just biding time until the team is good again, and then the Thunder will reevaluate the coaching spot. I think that he is their guy long term. I think that he's always been their guy long term. And I think that this year and last year, his first 2 seasons at the helm, have solidified that. Now, he will not have the flashy records that Billy Donovan gets in his first 2 years as a Thunder head coach. He will not get the flashy records that Scott Brooks got his first 2 years as a Thunder coach. He's done better than Peter Carlesimo did in his 5-game cup of coffee stint. But nonetheless, he will not have those flashy numbers given the fact that he does not have Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, whomever. And for 50% of his coaching career, hasn't had SGA either at that. And he's still done a really good job. A phenomenal job for Mark, and this team obviously rallies around him. That is something that you cannot discount when you're evaluating this team. We talk a lot about how they're going to find these star players, how they're going to find these guys that can turn it around from a player aspect. We do not talk a lot about the coaching aspect of it. And what you have in place right now is for sure SGA, for sure Josh Giddey. Those are 2 blue chip guys. For sure your general manager, Sam Presti's in place, and he is one of the best, if not the best in the NBA at being a GM. But you also got a head coach locked in. So you start to lay the foundation of this rebuild, and it gets easier and easier to see the other side. The hard part is, though, it's the NBA. And for a small market team that will not be luring in free agents, it's up to ping pong balls to bounce your way in the middle of May. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if they get that lottery luck. But there's a lot in place right now on top of the historic draft capital to be very, very excited about in Oklahoma City, especially this win. So I know that typically we try to root for losses in the season like this, but it was good to see those guys get a win in this setting and in this scenario. So credit to them for continuing to fight, and credit to you for handling tax season. People think that unusual circumstances mean complicated taxes, but TurboTax Live experts want to make things that are interesting and also make things simpler for you, no matter your unique life. Whether you invest in crypto for the first time this year, own an up-and-coming small business, or are raising rambunctious twins. Luckily, TurboTax Live has experts who can answer your tax questions, walk you through the whole process, or simply do your taxes for you from start to finish. They help you get every deduction you deserve, no matter your unique situation, and you can talk to a TurboTax Live expert through your phone or computer without leaving your house. TurboTax Live experts are here to help you with whatever you need. And if you need an extra hand and an extra hand to help you on your taxes, they'll get it done for you. Go to TurboTax Live experts for anything that taxes throw your way. Get a greater refund. Visit turbotax.com and learn more. You do your thing. They got your taxes covered. Check out TurboTax Live experts. Make sure you go check it out, turbotax.com, to learn more about how they can handle your taxes. Let's hear right now, but I got friends over at rockauto.com. Rockauto.com is a family-owned business serving you auto parts online for 20 years. That's right, 20 years ago. You probably didn't know how to work an email properly, but you could have been going to rockauto.com. How awesome is that? Folks, my favorite thing about rockauto.com is that I know nothing about cars. That might sound peculiar. Why do you absolutely love a car part website if you know nothing about cars? Well, it's because that they don't know I know nothing about cars. Therefore, they're not going to upcharge me. They're not going to take advantage of me. They have all the parts I need, and I can find them by simply searching my make, my model, my year. And they're going to show me only car parts that are compatible with my vehicle. So I'm never buying parts I do not need. I'm never being taken advantage of at rockauto.com. Go there today. Tell them Locked On sent you and the how did you hear about this box, and they'll know what to do from there. rockauto.com, amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Thank you for making Locked On Thunder your first listen every single morning, every single day. We're here for you. And the NBA trade deadline is also almost here. It happens Thursday, February 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And the Locked On NBA Podcast Network will be covering it live from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That's, of course, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. Join Kim Becker, John Corrales, and Locked On Fantasy Basketball host Josh Lloyd. Josh Lloyd, folks, he hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast in the world. So go check him out. John Corrales, host of Locked On Celtics, and our anchor for Locked On Now, Kim Becker. Join them along with Antonio Daniels for all the blockbuster moves and analysis. And also us local experts will hop on there whenever our teams make a trade. So I'll be in the chat. I'll be watching along with you guys. So join me over there on the Locked On NBA YouTube page. Subscribe for free over there. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever we go live. I'll be in that chat throughout the entire show, talking about the Thunder and the deals that they might make, and also watching along as Kim and John and Josh take us all the way through the deadline. You can also subscribe to the Locked On Thunder podcast on YouTube, Locked On Thunder on YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcast from for free. It's available every single day for free, wherever you get podcasts. Let's dive more into this game against the Portland Trail Blazers. And let's lead it off with Josh Giddey, folks. Josh Giddey was incredible in this game. Another double-double for him. It is his 11th double-double. He passes Russell Westbrook as the most in Thunder history as a rookie. Russ had 10 his rookie year. Josh has 11. And there's still 33-ish games left. So a lot of time for him to compile even more double-doubles. In 32 minutes in this game, he shot 41% from the floor, 0 for 2 from 3, 4 for 4 at the line. He had 12 rebounds, 11 of which came on the defensive end, ending possessions and getting the possession back for Oklahoma City. 4 assists, a block, and just 4 turnovers and 14 points. Again, for this team without Shea, you're looking at Josh Giddey being that traditional point guard, a role he's comfortable in, but a role that is different for him in the NBA to be a full-time point guard, lead guard with not really much help as a lead guard. And he handled it well. 4 turnovers. I mean, typically SGA hovers around 3. Typically Josh Giddey hovers around 3. So you're not seeing an uptick of turnovers as he gets an uptick of minutes and opportunity with the ball in his hands. Trey Mann, though, enters that starting group. He plays 24 minutes, shoots 40% from the floor, 2 for 6 from 3, 3 for 3 at the line, 2 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 13 points. Had a nice catch and shoot 3 from Giddey to start his scoring night. Of course, he used that step back move. his best step back move probably happened on a miss, that step back around the elbow, but had some nice moves as well. Also good to see him trying to get that floater going. If he can start hitting that floater consistently, as we've seen Josh Giddey become an elite floater taker maker, right? If Tre Mann can get some of that floating action from Giddey, you really start to see how Tre Mann can become that 3-level elite scorer that he has all the potential in the world to be. He used that step back to actually get off a shot and make a shot in this game, so that streak continues. Also had a nice one-legged floater, that one-legged fadeaway that I'm not really sure how he pulled off, but at the end of the day, he had a huge step back three for the dagger to put the Thunder up 94-72 with 5 minutes left. Tre Mann in extended minutes played really well. His first real time being counted on. We talk all season long about the Skittles versus broccoli, about his role in the Thunder, and in his first real taste of, okay, the team has to depend on you. You have to get minutes. There's no other options here for the most part. He stepped up in a big way, just like Darius Bazley did off the bench. Bazley had 26 minutes. He went 5 for 7 from the floor. That's 71%. 3 for 4 from 3. That's 75%. 2 for 2 at the line. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a turnover, and 15 points. Played fantastic defense. Really helped this game turn around defensively. His first bucket of the game was a fantastic backdoor cut and a dime by Kenny Hustle. But the backdoor cut, you cannot guard Bazley with how athletic he is off ball very well if he's moving, if he's exploding to the rim. And you want to see the Thunder get him in those scenarios more and more. Hopefully, they actually do that moving forward. We've been asking for that for 3 years now. So who knows if it'll actually happen. But you just want to see them put him in better spots to use his one offensive NBA trait, which is his explosiveness and his ability to finish the rim if he can get there. So that was great to start the game out from him. He took 2 ill-advised shots, and he went 5 for 7. I mean, he had the ill-advised 3 where it's kind of a heat check, hand in his face. Probably shouldn't have shot that, but threw it up anyway. Then he had one where he kind of dove at the rim, got the ball down low, and hop stepped to the rim, and he was going to go up with it over 2 people, and it did not work out. But 2 ill-advised shots and 1 turnover. Not a bad night at the office for Darius Bazley, who plays 26 minutes and was really good. Obviously, in this, you saw the dime by Kenny Hustle. Also, Ty Jerome had a beautiful pass that I think that had Josh Giddey made that pass, you'd still be seeing the highlights on Twitter right now. Is a nice fling pass to the corner to a wide open Bazley, who knocked down the 3. I think that with Bazley, it's hard to talk about Bazley because he's so divisive, number one, but also because it's like talking about baseball, right? In baseball, it's hard to recap a game from the night before because you know that there's 162 more of them. You know that you cannot overreact to just one game. You know that there's more to a season than a 2-for-4 outing. Is this who Darius Bazley is now? We've said that 50 times in his short career so far. I can't get there yet, but you'd rather him play well than not play well. So it was great to see him do that in this game. Coming up, let's talk Derek Favors. Let's talk Kenny Hustle, and let's wrap up this game with the bet of the day and the Moneyball pick of the game, and all of that stuff is coming at you here on the Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your teams every day. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. I want to tell you right now, but our good friends over at Bet Online. Bet Online has you covered for this season with more prop bets, odds, and lines than ever before. Football continues its march to the playoffs and right up to the big game in a couple weeks. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your favorite sports and scores, podcasts, and news this season. It's not just football. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, and even live real-time updates on current games. Do not wait. Take advantage of these amazing offers available today for the 2022 season. BetOnline, where the game starts. We are back on the Locked On Thunder podcast, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. It's free and available across all platforms. Make sure you go check us out on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever else you get podcasts from. Subscribe and listen to the show. Every episode's free. We're here every single day, every single morning for you, talking Thunder basketball. For your second listen, go check out the Locked On Bets podcast, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, an expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms, just like we are. Go check out Locked On Bets to win you some money by just listening to a free podcast that gives you winners each and every night. Tonight, the Thunder took on the Portland Trailblazers and got their win to stop the losing streak. And in this game, Derek Favors was bad. He was very bad. He looked washed. And I don't think that the Thunder are going to be able to pull their magic. Now, you never want to go against Sam Presti. You never want to bet against Sam Presti having a rabbit in his hat as a magician. But he got dominated this game, and he goes 2 for 6 shooting, 7 rebounds, 6 points, 21 minutes. Just was not good tonight. Was not good. And with that big player option next year, it is hard to find a team that will want to trade for Derek Favors and that will find any value in Derek Favors, especially whenever the Thunder are the salary dumping team. Like, there's not a team that you can even salary dump them to, and not that the Thunder would be in the spot where they'd want to salary dump somebody, but it just seems like they're going to have to hold on to Derek Favors for the rest of this season. And then he's, of course, going to pick up that player option. And then they have a very interesting decision to make with his player option, which is about $10 million. I think it's like 10.1 to be exact next year. That there's no way in my mind that he turns that down. So how Sam Presti maneuvers that this offseason will be very, very fascinating. But Kenny Hustle was great tonight as well. 44% shooting from the floor, 0 for 4 from deep, though. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 points, 24 minutes. Good defense from him. Lou Dort, we mentioned how he played against Simons, but also chipped in 18 points and 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. The bet of the day brought to you by betonline.net. It was OKC +3. That hit. The Moneyball pick was Trey Mann, but Baisley and Jerome each hit 3 triples. MVP pick of the game is Josh Giddey, the record-setting night for the rookie 6th overall pick for the Oklahoma City Thunder. On tomorrow's show, we're going to have a lot of fun talking about the draft, talking about how the season's gone so far, and so much more. We have more recaps to do. It's a daily podcast. Subscribe for free across all platforms so you never miss an episode. And until tomorrow, be good and be good to one another.